Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to episode 235 outside the studio today. And we thought we might start the program a little differently this morning. And today we're going to be talking about keeping our parks clean. Now, it's important to keep our parks clean. And joining me now is Georgia. Good morning.
Morning, Barry.
What do you think about keeping our parks clean?
I think it's very important because it's nice to have areas to come to where you can walk around and dogs can come and play, and you don't want those areas to be all ruined with rubbish and old dog poo and other things like that.
Or dog feces, as we call them here. So, here we are now outside the Narrabeen Youth and Community Centre. There it is there. And up there is Beverly Job Park, which runs onto this. Now, you may recall, okay, I did a video and a fish and chip review up there and took a view of the tennis court. Well, not the actual tennis court, but in saying this, not just this park, but Beverly Job Park as well, you must keep it clean. And if you bring your rubbish in, please dispose of it. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, make sure that you use the bins provided, but if there's no bins, that you take the rubbish that you bring into the park out of the park to keep it nice and clean for everyone else.
And remember, no urinating on the grass. There are bathrooms nearby. Here's my offsider.
Yes, the grass is only for dogs to urinate on, isn't that right, Barry?
Yeah, so we thought we might bring this first part of our show to you right from Beverly Job Park. And there's someone else taking
I think it's Katie.
Morning walk there.
Hello.
And there's a dog. So, if you want to have a picnic here, that is fine. But like we say, if you bring your rubbish in, please dispose of it. Here's my offsider.
Yes, I think that's a good point, Barry. Make sure that you dispose of your rubbish so that people can enjoy the park benches that you make nice and clean for them. So you come and bring everything that you bring and then take it out with you.
So, don't be a tosser, ladies and gentlemen. Please don't do that.
What's the tagline, Barry? Do you remember?
The what?
The tagline for that ad.
If it's not in the bin, it's on you, and do the right thing. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned that in a few videos now. I think the last time was with Alec when we mentioned that, so it's a good point.
So, another important point we'd like to bring up today, okay? I hadn't brought this up on the videos for a while, and that is compromising and agreeing. Okay? Here's my offsider.
Yeah, it's important to, when you're working in a team with people, to listen to everyone's ideas and take on board what they say, and especially when they have, the group's or your best interest at heart. It's important to listen to what they have to say and take it on board.
Okay, because there's no point shaking your head and then going, nah, not doing that, don't want to know, because that is a selfish way of looking at it. So it is a beautiful day here, so that's why we are bringing the show, the first part of our show, to you here at the Narrowena and Community Youth Centre, and I might get Georgia now to take a picture of the sign there.
Of the sign? Which sign?
Over there.
Yeah? How about we walk over there and we take a photo? It's a bit hard to see from here.
And we'll pause and we'll take a photo.
Alright.
Okay, this sign here, ladies and gentlemen, says trees and vegetation in this reserve have been vandalized or poisoned. Northern Beaches Council will pay a reward of up to $10,000 for information that leads to successful prosecution of any person or persons who willfully damage trees or vegetation in this area. Here's my offsider.
So, yeah, it looks like they're paying a reward. The Northern Beaches Council is paying a reward for people who have information on this, which is very interesting because you don't see that very often, do you, Barry?
Not very often.
Not very often.
Okay. So, this is why we are starting the show out here today. And I'd like to point out that if anybody is caught vandalizing trees or graffitiing on the walls or in the car park, there will be serious consequences. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, and with a reward like that, $10,000, if anyone sees you, I'm sure that they'll be reporting you. So you want to make sure that you don't damage any property here. It kind of links into what we were saying before, doesn't it, Barry, about keeping the parks clean?
Yeah, and like these trees here are precious. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, I'm actually not too sure which ones these are, but it looks like they've planted all new ones down the whole park. So they must be pretty special, and they're keeping good care of them.
So we're going to take a break now, and then we'll come back to you. Thanks for joining us on the opening segment of our show. Before we go to the break, Sydney's forecast, look at that. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, it's a very nice day out today. I'm not too sure what the forecast is, but maybe I'll look at my weather app and then we'll get back to them in the next segment.
And we hope that you've enjoyed the opening segment. And just taking a shot of our studio there.
Yes.
There it is there.
Beautiful.
And thank you, Georgia, for your encouragement. And what a way to open the show.
Beautiful day. Good to be outside, isn't it, Barry?
And before we go to the break, just saying, recapping on Tough Love, okay? And it has worked, so if it's a beautiful day, next Tuesday we might even do the same again and recap on what we've just spoken about the park. So parks are not rubbish dumps, guys. They are there to keep clean. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, they're here for everyone to enjoy. That's the point of a public place and a public
So,
spot for everyone to come.
so the time now is
It is, what time is it? Hang on. 9:40.
20 to 10, so we've done a good 40 minutes of the show out here. And on our next segment, we're going to be talking about crossing the road safely. So let's talk about road safety next.
Alright, sounds good, Barry. Let's go to our next location.
Now just look at that. Look at how untidy this is. Have you viewers seen anything like it? Let us know down below. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, it's not good that there's graffiti on the property at the park like this. It's definitely not keeping it clean. It's definitely a bit of an eyesore, isn't it, Barry?
Yeah, I'm like, this is what our opening segment has been all about today.
Yeah.
So we will see you back in the studio in a couple of minutes. Thanks for joining us. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, we might do a bit of that road safety segment that you were talking about, and then we'll head back. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Alright, see ya.
See you soon, viewers. Give me the nod. Now, road safety, ladies and gentlemen, is very important. Always look left, look right, but don't run straight across the road, otherwise a car can come speeding up and then run you down. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, you always want to make sure you look left and right and then left again, so that if any cars have come up in the time that you've looked, you can stop in time. So make sure that you always keep an eye out before you cross the road, because cars may not see you if the driver's eyes are in the sun, or they might be speeding. So you want to make sure that you keep yourself nice and safe when crossing the road.
So we hope that you've enjoyed our opening segment of the show. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, it's been a good one. Have you enjoyed it, Barry?
I have.
I'm glad.
And now, I'm going to give you a demonstration
Okay.
of crossing the road. So very gently, carefully like that. Okay. Look to the left, look to the right, look left, look right. No cars coming, so I am safe.
I've got you, Barry.
And then cross up here again. And then once again, the same thing, guys. And then look left.
Hang on, I think I can hear a car. All good.
All good.
Let's go.
So now, it is time to cross the road.
Well done, Barry. Do you want to stop here and finish this segment?
Yep, I will.
Alright.
Well, to close the first segment, ladies and gentlemen, let's go over what we talked about so far this morning on our program. We talked about how to keep the parks clean. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, we talked about how you need to take your rubbish with you. Any rubbish you bring into the park you need to take out or put it in the bin. What else do we talk about?
Not urinating in the park.
Yeah, good point.
And also compromising we've talked about so far today. Here's my offsider.
Yep, compromising and giving things a go to see if you like it instead of just saying no straight away, and also a bit of road safety as well.
So we'll just take a quick shot of Oceania now. There it is there. So the time now is nearly 10 o'clock. Time for a break, and then we'll come back to you in the studio, and then we've got plenty more coming up. You're watching episode 235. Don't go away. Plenty more coming up. It's Tuesday morning, the 13th of July. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's 15 degrees at the moment here in Sydney, but it feels like 13. Good morning, Barry and Georgia with you back in the studio after we opened our show in the park. And boy, we had an experience there. Recapping some of the topics we talked about was keeping our parks clean and not urinating in the park and taking your rubbish out when you dispose of it. Here's Georgia now to open the second part of our show with that, but before we do that, I saw some graffiti, which was not very good, and also we did some road safety too to close the first part of our show. Well, our second part of the show today, is about people not doing the right thing when they're supposed to, and then getting caught out. Now, a total of 77 cases were detected on Sunday and 112 yesterday, so that's very alarming indeed. Here's Georgia now with her opening sequence on our second part of the show today.
Yeah, we covered some great topics this morning, Barry. A nice variety out in the park. That was really, really nice to get out and about in the nice weather today. The COVID cases definitely aren't going the right way in Sydney, but I think that the lockdown is definitely what we need to be doing at the moment. So it's important that everyone follows the rules and does what they're supposed to be doing so that we can get out of lockdown and we can see those case numbers drop and hopefully no more hospitalizations or deaths.
But unfortunately, a couple were fined on the Gold Coast $4,000 now. Please, if you've been told not to leave the Sydney area, please do not do that. Here's my offsider.
Yeah, if you're part of the Greater Sydney area that's in lockdown, and I believe there's also restrictions in all of New South Wales, it's important that we follow that because no one's exempt from these rules unless they've been told that they are, and that's just essential workers and essential shopping. So make sure that everyone's following those rules and that you don't get a fine yourself, and also you keep everyone safe at the same time.
Now, Victoria recorded Victoria, pardon me, recorded 12 straight days without a COVID case. But that could be about to end. Here's my offside.
Yeah, well, it has ended. It looks like I only saw that little part on the internet front page where it said that Victoria records one new case, so they've broken their streak of 0 cases, which is definitely not good because all the people, or even all the sport teams from New South Wales, have gone down to Melbourne. So if that's not safe anymore, then it could spread very easily because at the moment I'm pretty sure Victoria can go to all the other states. So we want to make sure that those cases don't rise to what Sydney has been in for the past few weeks, but we'll maybe keep you updated on that. They might have some news on that a little bit.
So, okay, a couple on a yacht was fined $4,000 for entering Queensland. Can't do that. Here's my offside.
I haven't heard that, but yeah, definitely you can't get through on the land borders, but also the water borders. I'm sure they're patrolling quite heavily as well, so you want to make sure that you're following the rules and not looking for loopholes in the rules.
Because the rules are there, guys, to be abided by. Please don't be silly and flout the rules. Here's my offside.
Yeah, definitely want to make sure that you're following the rules because the rules are put in under the health advice and they wouldn't make us be going into all these lockdowns and hurting the economy and people's social well-being for no reason. So you want to make sure that you're following the rules because they aren't unreasonable given the numbers and the Delta variant that's going around. So you want to make sure we're following the rules so that we can lift the restrictions sooner.
So please don't be silly. Abide by the rules, guys. It is not a hard thing to put in the basket. Don't put orders that are so easy to obey in the too hard basket. Here's my offside.
Yeah, it's definitely not a big ask to ask people to stay home. I mean, it is challenging, but it's not like they're asking you to really do anything that's physically or, I guess physically just exerting. So if you just can stay home, I know it can be hard not to see people and it's definitely emotionally challenging, but it's not something that they're asking you to do that seems unreasonable. So make sure that you're following through with that.
So please, we know it's been hard and frustrating, ladies and gentlemen, but unfortunately it's just gonna get worse before it gets better. Okay, because a lot of silly people over the weekend had parties when they shouldn't have, okay, and got fined. Now 106 infringement notices were handed out over the weekend to the rule breakers, so think twice before you do anything that is stupid. Or if you're thinking of getting away with it, well, Georgia and I can say, well, you will be caught. And I'm sure Georgia will agree on this.
Yeah, you definitely will be caught. They've got a lot of the police force out in the community to make sure that everyone's following the rules. And they have contact tracers, so I think he was saying that some people were lying to the contact tracers.
I think so.
Yeah.
But I will have to double check on that and then get back to you on this. And another piece of information we'd like to share before we do go and listen to the press conference. Okay? Just tell the truth about where you are. You won't get into trouble. Here's my offside.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to lie to them, because if you tell the truth, you're not going to be punished for it. They just want to find out where you've been as quickly as possible so that they can stop the spread and get those people into isolation. So they're more concerned about that than getting you in trouble or fining you. So make sure you tell the truth to the contact tracers.
So the last thing you don't want to have happen, okay, is the police issuing you with $1,000 worth of a fine. Okay, and another thing that really attracted my attention is having a dummy spit in the supermarket over a mask. Please don't do that. That is wrong. And don't rip up your infringement notice. Here's my offside.
Yeah, though if you get an infringement, then they can still track you down and maybe send you a follow-up notice that is more expensive. So you want to make sure that if you do get an infringement notice, you don't rip it up like Barry says. And also, if you are exempt from wearing a mask, you want to make sure that you have proof of that. And if you are acting like you have an exemption from that, you will get caught, and it's definitely not benefiting anyone.
And it's a $200 fine as well for not wearing the mask. Well, the time is coming close to conference time, 8 minutes to 11 o'clock here on the 13th of July. We're going to take a break now and cross to the media conference, and we will get back to you after the conference, and we'll let you know what the outcome is from the cases that have popped up overnight. So a big day for Gladys and all her team there. So we'll take a break and we'll head straight to the news at 11 o'clock, and we will wrap up the show with the update that was given, and that's a wrap. So we'll be back after the conference to wrap it all up. You've been watching episode 235 today. I'm Barry Fair. Stay tuned. The conference is coming up after this break, and then we'll be back to wrap it all up. Here's my offside.
Yeah, we'll be back. It looks like there's 7 minutes until the press conference, so you might head out to the TV and see what they say, and we'll take some notes and get back to you guys.
So hang tight, guys. Okay, so stay tuned, and we will get back to you after the conference, and we'll finish up with a third idea as well. So, still plenty more to come on the show today. I'm Barry Fair. The time is 5 to 11, Tuesday, July 13th. Here we are now, back from listening to the Premier. We have some information for you now about how many COVID cases there are. Okay, now, up until 8 o'clock last night, there were about 89,
89, yeah.
89 new cases. So, it's not looking too good. Now, sadly, a man in his 70s died from COVID. Okay, and another bit of information we have for you, and this is quite important that you listen to your premiers about what has been said there. Here's Georgia now.
Yes, so there was 89 cases over since 8 p.m. last night, with 64 of those being from southwest Sydney. And yes, as you said, Barry, there was a 70-year-old.
70-year-old.
In his 70s, actually.
In his 70s.
Yeah. And he was from the eastern suburbs, and he passed away. So I believe that's 2 deaths, because there was one the day before yesterday, which is very, very sad, but they didn't release too much information on that case yet. What else did they say, Barry? About 3/4 of the cases were close family contacts. So whether that's in the household or the positive cases from the past few days, they're family members. Yeah, what else did they say, Barry? Do you remember?
Don't leave home unless you really have to. Only leave home for essential reasons.
Yeah, so they pushed that we need to keep staying at home, as well as if you're in the Fairfield local government area, you need to be tested every 3 days if you are travelling for essential work outside of that government area, as well as if you live in regional New South Wales and you travel into the metropolitan area, you need to be tested every week. Yeah, so that's kind of the biggest new rule that they've put in place, I think. Yeah, it looks like there's 75 of the 89 cases were linked, so we still have a few of those that are unlinked.
So it's not looking very good, unfortunately. Here's my offside.
Yeah, it's not looking great, especially with the people that are in hospital. I believe it's over 60 people have been admitted to hospital, with 18 in the ICU and 4 on ventilators. It also, I think it was Gladys or Dr. Chant said that the people in hospital and a few people in the ICU are young and have no underlying health conditions, which means that it's non-discriminatory between people of any age and any medical history, which is not good.
So it is very important to listen to what the premiers have to say, Dr. Chant, Gary Warvoice, because there were infringement notices as well. Up to date, am I right, George?
Yes, there was 121 infringement notices since they last announced that.
So,
yeah.
the police will be still out in force for the rest of this week and all of next week. Okay? So, please don't be stupid and think you're going to get away without an infringement notice. Because you drive anywhere without a good valid reason, the police will pull you over, okay? And ask where you are from and why you are traveling. Here's my operator.
Yeah, so the police are definitely out and pulling over cars to ask where you are and why you're there. And if you don't have a valid reason, which would be essential work or one person, you're the only person in your house that's gone shopping for groceries, then you will be fined. And mask wearing as well, traveling where you shouldn't be going, going over to other people's houses as well. So I think that, did they say 34 of those infringements were from Southwest?
34, yeah.
Yeah, so 34 out of the 121 infringements were from Southwest Sydney, which means that there's quite a few outside of the hotspots that are becoming complacent. Is that right, Barry?
Yeah, so the thing Georgia and I would like to say is don't be complacent. Think that your suburb is not at risk because it might be. Here's my operator.
Yeah, the suburbs can change every day. There's still definitely cases in the east and in different parts of Sydney, not just the southwest in Fairfield and those areas. So you want to make sure that you're sticking to the rules because you will still be fined even if there's no cases in your area. And also the cases can jump areas very quickly. So
Because we might even have one on the northern beaches the next day. Who knows?
yeah, they just might not be tested yet. So there's always going to be a few more cases than what they say because some people don't have any symptoms and haven't been tested yet.
So what we would like to end the show with today is please don't lie about where you are. Tell the truth. Give a valid reason because the days of giving excuse or making excuses will soon be over and it will not be tolerated. Here's my operator.
Yeah, I think as we said before in the last segment, make sure that you're telling the truth to the contact tracers, and if you don't have a valid reason to give police officers when they pull you over, then tell them the truth, then tell them why you're traveling, and you may get an infringement notice, but it will help them to see patterns and make sure that everyone's doing the right thing. So you can tell the truth. It'll be better for everyone.
Because telling the truth about where you are, ladies and gentlemen, is very important at this critical time. Don't just say, oh, I'm traveling up for a holiday or down south because that won't be allowed. Okay? So cancel your plans, whatever they are, whatever plans you've made. Stay home, please. The message is simple. Don't put an order that is so easy to obey in the too hard basket. Okay, we know that it's been absolutely frustrating, but guys, we are all in this together, okay? So if you've got any problems about why you've had to stay home during this difficult time, please talk to someone about it. Okay, don't get angry, compromise, go for a walk if you're feeling bored like Jordan and I did at the start of the show today. And talk about how lockdown has affected you and why it has affected you, and write things down in a diary as well. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay? Ring your friends up, organize a Skype meeting, do some cooking, go for a walk, have a nice, healthy lunch, guys. There is absolutely nothing wrong with those suggestions. And now, here's a closing message. We hope that you've enjoyed episode 235. Okay, so thank you for joining us today. We do hope to see you next time on the show. Maybe back in December next week, who knows? I might be back here or back there. So thanks for your company this morning on the show and to take us out. If you do take your rubbish into the park, like we said right at the beginning, don't be a toddler, take with you. Okay, the same with your dog droppings. Okay, don't leave it for anyone else to pick up, okay? Because our parks need to be clean. And if it's not in the bin, it's on you. Do the right thing. Keep Narrowena clean and the house clean as well. And on that note, thanks for your company today on episode 235. Here's Jordan now for a closing sequence and a reminder about calling 000 only in an emergency.
Yes, make sure that you only ring 000 if it's an emergency to save the resources and the hospital and health staff for the people who need it most, especially during these COVID times where a lot of people, over 60 people, have been admitted to hospital. So we want to make sure that if they're having trouble breathing from COVID or if anyone is having a medical emergency, that the ambulances and other emergency resources are available for them.
So we thank you for joining us today on the show, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for your company, and Georgia, I really did enjoy the start of the program today, and Sabrina, thanks for the cake, really lovely. Hope to see you soon, maybe on Monday, but who knows, it might be a surprise. But until next Tuesday then, thanks for your company and we'll see you next week. Have a great rest of Tuesday, everybody. Stay home, stay safe. I'm Barry Fear, and from me, myself, Barry Fear, in Georgia, you have a great rest of Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for watching episode 235. Bye bye.
Bye guys, thank you very